could get drunk off the lights of a city. Late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone now, that shit's broken. 2 a.m. and I'm lost in Brooklyn, missing home. I know you don't.
Hello and welcome back to week 4. We are in the Immortal division here with with Inferno versus Wild Omen. I'm Jeffrey, and I'm here together with Fish.
Glad to be here. Wild Inferno and Dark Omen should be a really nice matchup. And I mean, it's week 4 Immortal Division. We're at the halfway point of the season. I think this is about the time where we expect these teams to kind of come together more when they're playing, maybe see less communication issues, just start seeing some really polished gameplay. And the ban's a little bit odd. An Agony top ban, you gotta think that has to be at least a little bit of a target ban. Really used to seeing the Merlin and Tiamat taken off the board.
Yeah, either it's a target ban or they have finally started listening to iNooblet, as, well, they have been screaming Acne might be the best mid laner in the game since the start of Season 10 now. But, however, on this other side, seeing the Ao Kuang and the Odoran banned out, probably a bit more traditional. And now a Mercury as well. What do you think about this Mercury ban?
I definitely like seeing the Merc ban. There are a lot of strong junglers right now, but in my opinion, none of them really carry the game as much as this Mercury does. And now we're going to see the most important ban, a Yemoja against Lucen. I believe it's Lucen's first game on Dark Omen, traded just a few days ago. So maybe forget what I said about having all the chemistry, but adding a support like Lucent to your roster should only help this Dark Omen team. I'm going to expect a lot out of him this set.
Yeah, definitely. As well, I think I've heard Anthony say it so much and so many times. You cannot ban out Lucent, but still a Yemoja ban, pretty damn good. However, Merlin being locked in with Acne already being banned out, I think you got the poke on the side of Dark Omen here. I don't think you rifle that in the mid lane. Do you think there's any mid laner that can really outtrade a Merlin worth, like, poke wise?
It's hard to say. The Agni certainly can with the ultimates, and there's another kind of less common mage that we haven't seen for a while. I wouldn't want to see it here, but I think a Thoth is still extremely good at range, especially into something like a Merlin. You kind of play safe, you throw the glyph up, and you do more damage than Merlin does to you. Not a very common interaction, definitely wouldn't expect it, but you can't ask for a stronger frontline than that. A Maui Surtur, that is scary.
Susanoo, though, Susanoo is a bit of a hit or miss, isn't he? Like, Susanoo either goes 17 in 1 or he feeds his brains out. I'm really looking forward to see what Dark Omen is going to do on him right here. As we see also Athena being locked in. It's also not a god that's being picked too much, but I really like an Athena pick here. What do you think about Athena?
It certainly offers a lot of variability to your team. I mean, the support can kind of just do their own thing, and any lane can turn into a 2v1 at really any point in time. So I do like the Athena. I'm a little bit concerned that it's not going to be as impactful as this Maui late game when teams kind of group up. But that being said, it's still a strong pick. Going into a Pele, especially Pele, not a ton of CC immunity in that pick, so it should be really good at trying to peel that Pele off the backliners.
Yeah, definitely. However, this Pele here, it's a bit of a odd pick, I would say. I've not seen Pele too much, and when I have seen it, it's not usually in the jungle anymore. I do like it to go towards this jungle here, especially since the solo laner definitely has been picked already, with Surtur and Maui being locked in. Um, so yeah, I would like to see it go towards the jungle and not ADC or mid. Pele is the kind of god that can basically be played anywhere, but yeah, I would hope it's the jungle this time. Looking at these bans though, hold that thought, Cupid being locked in. We get a lot of gods we don't see all too often, Fish.
Yeah, normally I'm not necessarily a Cupid hater. I think it really has his moments at times. That being said, there was 2 ADCs banned out. Mage ADCs aren't in the best spot right now. I can't believe that they take the Cupid. over something, like the Rama, like the Ishtar, like the almighty Cernanos. But then again, neither do Wild Inferno. They're going to pick up a Danza Burrow, so it's going to be an unconventional duo lane. I don't think we're going to see one like this for the rest of the season.
Yeah, probably. I'm a bit baffled right now. I'm surprised by especially this Cupid pick. I think Danza is being played a little bit more. I still don't like it too much, but it's not the worst. I mean, the rocket can absolutely destroy, and I think it's good against the Cupid, as whenever the Fields of Love do come out, you can just jump inside of your rocket and like ignore the entirety of the Cupid ultimate. So I do think I favor the Danza Burrow in this matchup in particular. I also really want to talk about this Ravana look-in for, I would assume, solo, though.
I think it is solo. I think we've seen them pilot this Ravana to solo, and especially having LDGFish on the Susano. Fish is a really good jungler, likes the Susano pick, so I would be expecting exactly that. I think notably, the one area where Danza Burrow might struggle is late game. Not a ton of maneuverability. I mean, Scylla's ult's going to be hitting. Pele finds an easy target. I like the draft that both these teams have taken. We're going to see some really interesting matchups as the match goes on.
Well, there you have it, folks. These are your picks. It's Dark Omen versus Wild Inferno. Let us know in the comments, who do you think has the better roster in this game 1 as we go into this game 1. Thank you so much for watching.
I could get drunk off the lights of a city. Late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone out, that shit's broken. 2 a.m. and I'm lost in Brooklyn, missing home. I know you don't. When we were on, I'd always thought we would make it, but now you're gone. Baby, you're a ghost. I'm caught up in a landslide, mental on the low end. When I used to feel alive, now there's a hole in the city, can't feel shit. Where do I go? Cause I know you don't feel this. Can't catch a break for God's sakes. Feel like I'm waking up and I'm caught in the wake. Yeah, I know this is my funeral on parade. I did it to myself cause I always thought you would feel the same, and I know you don't. Drunk off the lights of a city, late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone out, that shit's broken. 2 a.m. and I'm lost in Brooklyn, missing home. I know you don't. Let's hit the brakes. I'm pulling out the parachute, jumping out the plane. You had it all in front of you, nothing feels the same. It's crazy what love can do, even crazier when it's not coming back to you. You say you need space, so I gave you all the states. Every night a different place. Used to think we're getting close, and now we're drifting away. And all I can say is that I'm feeling wasted. I could get drunk off the lights of a city. Late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone out, that shit's broken. 2 a.m. and I'm lost in
And welcome back to this game 1 of Wild Inferno versus Dark Omen. It's still the Immortal division. The buffs are about to spawn, and in fact, they right now have spawned as we are looking at the solo side here. Are they gonna pick up the right buffs? Are all the buffs actually going to get there? We'll see. What do you think, Fish?
Ooh, well, they're doing a pretty efficient job grouping here, but I mean, moving on from the buffs, you talked about the solo side. The Raven, I believe, I could be mistaken, I think we've seen physics on it before. Is LDGFish backing? Absolutely no idea what that's about. Getting the speed boost. Oh,
Right.
Yo, the micros are insane. Getting that speed boost out of the fountain to get to yellow. I wonder if he's tested that in practice to see if it's quicker. It almost seems like it wouldn't be, but I guess I don't know.
I think it might be a strat that Wild Inferno came up with, because they also, the dual lane left the XP camp. So he might actually hit free still, where otherwise you wouldn't. So yeah, I think they did practice it. And I guess if they think it works, it
Wow,
might
yeah.
work.
He hit 3. Okay, well, that's a
Quick
new start
dueling
going
gang.
forward, I guess. Yeah, going over to
Ooh.
the duo. Oh no, pathing back towards mid. Obviously now the Merlin has lost a little bit of pressure due to not having a jungler. I think RawToasts went over there pretty much immediately, so the Dark Omen mid lane certainly feeling a little bit better as now Susanoo walks towards left. But Dark Omen's under the tower. They know something's up. I mean, jungler hasn't been seen in mid, hasn't been seen in solo either. But now should be able to get these left Harpies without much issue. I don't think Merlin's going to get any credit for him, though.
Yeah, it will probably only be Fish, if it is even gonna be Fish, because RawToasts walking up there actually gonna steal one of them for themselves. So Fish did get 2, still pretty good. I want to talk about Fish looking Susanoo here while it's their last week on high ping is crazy to me. You're picking one of the most auto attack cancel gods in the game on ping? That what do you think about that? Would you do it?
I mean, I would just lock whoever because I don't care too much about ping. But that being said, I mean, has played on ping before. Fish, certainly one of the best junglers in the division, and really good on the Susanoo as well. I personally always think of the Dodgy when I think of LDGFish, but I mean, it does great on the Susanoo. I see no real reason why he wouldn't lock it in. Plus, it's game 1. If nothing else, this gives him kind of a benchmark of how he's going to be able to perform on a pick like that does kind of need good Wi-Fi connection to run well.
Yeah, definitely. And I don't even, it's not even as much Wi-Fi as it's just the latency from the ping. However, blue buff invade coming up. Not really. Blue buff invade coming out here by RawToasts. Sneaky. Fish, I think he's solid. Going for, well, another blue buff invade of themselves, and now finding himself in maybe a little bit of trouble. Just managed to get out there. Dodged still, and then Steve looking at it. Ability missed, and will just go for the safety option of dashing out. Yeah. Okay.
Smart play by Fish. Kind of unlucky. RawToasts path pretty high there. I think kind of expecting that Fish would go towards that speed buff. Not the case now as Wild Inferno's duo lane taking a little bit of initiative. Good double stun by the Maui. Lucent saving Joy from having to use some beads there. I mean, Dancerboro, even at low levels like this, puts out a kind of insane amount of damage. Wouldn't really be surprised if a kill followed. Now JoyWolffe is going to have to use the beads dash away from the taunt. And good utility usage here by Wild Inferno to force out that relic early.
Yeah, great beats though. Good pre-beats, because I think Joy was dead if they didn't beats there. And I want to talk about this Dancerboro in particular. I think Dancerboro is one of the most annoying characters to play against when you are playing on the ADC role. Maybe except for Freya. Freya could be even more annoying. But I don't know, man. It's something, personally, I can't play it, but I always struggle against it. Do you have any personal, history with Dancerboro picks?
No, not especially. I don't find him as annoying. I think mainly for me, it's kind of the lack of mobility. Like, it's not a dash or anything. He can kind of struggle to create the real balance of space that you need. Those money bags go pretty far. Obviously, the taunt a little bit more limited. It's certainly a balancing act when you play Dancerboro of how aggressive to be and if you're going to be able to get your damage off. I mean, I play a lot of ADC as wow, Nishi gonna fall to Lucent. If you're Dark Omen, you want that first blood to go onto the ADC, but you're happy you got it regardless. As now Dark Omen gonna have a slight gold lead, up about 1,000.
However, yes, Fish will get a kill in return onto the solo lane. I don't think they get back for free here. Nope, most definitely not. However, getting kill back on to the Susanoo early is pretty important, as you want the Susanoo to be a very fat Bacchus boy. You want him to eat well. Ooh, well, okay, I'm so sorry, we missed it completely, but Ravana actually gets not even solo, but 1v2'd by RawToasts here. Crazy plays.
Not really the start you're expecting from the solo laner. I mean, I guess if nothing else does allow him to finish up that soul leader without having to back, so maybe just saving a little bit of time there. And now we see both supports go into the, blanking on the name, Prophetic Cloak first item. I think an item that's really picked up in popularity as of late. Normally we kind of see the Gauntlet of Thebes. I personally still think it's a better item. But still, nice to see a refreshing change of pace.
Yeah, it most definitely is. I've seen it quite a bit. Been building it myself a lot as well. I think it's very good. Ooh, RawToasts being pulled back in. Gets quite a bit of damage on them by Wet Wings here. Well, anyways, the Prophetic Cloak, like we were talking about, I think it's very good to get early since Gauntlet, if you want to get both of them, is a bit easier to stack than a Prophetic Cloak, especially with the cooldown that you get on the Prophetic. So I do get why people want to get it before the Gauntlet.
Certainly. I mean, Prophetic's not a bad item, and certainly a lot harder to stack than that Gauntlet of Thebes is. And I think if the play is to build both items at the same time, then probably the right start. But we're just going to have to wait and see. And talking about the right start, that is an odd start from Danzaburrow. Gilded Arrow into Bloodforge. I don't necessarily hate it, but I gotta say, I still think the traditional build is much better, but if nothing else, going to be hitting really, really hard these first few levels.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about this one, Fisher. I think any other season I would have applauded for it, but RC right now, ooh, I don't think you can go around it. Yes, Bloodforge has a lot of damage, but the passive from RC right now is just unmatchable. I think Dance is gonna have a hard time against JoyWolffe now.
Too, and I think it goes back to that thing we say a lot, because it's true, pretty across the board. It's not a bad item. Bloodforge isn't in a bad spot, neither is Gilded Arrow. There's just better. I mean, the Death's Toll Aussie Star, in my mind, is the best. Pretty simply put, there's not much that can contest it. However, late game should be hitting harder than JoyWolffe. Hitting hard already right now, not going to land the taunt, unfortunately. Cupid doesn't have to land beads, but now Aussie does have that lifesteal online already. RawToasts coming over. Jones not exactly safe here on the Danzaburrow, but did have a sentry ward up high, doing a great job playing safe by his tower.
Yeah, they will be fine here. Wasting a bit of time from the jungler on Dark Omen here. Ooh, hold that thought. Physics jumping in with the ultimate, and now it's actually Petro falling down towards Fisher. Great gank as well. I think maybe Physics would have had that anyways, but great gank by Fish to just confirm it. Also get himself some XP and gold from that kill. And well, I said it before, you want the Susan of Fat. And they're doing a great job doing so with another buffing fade here as well.
Love to see it from LDGFish. My fellow fish just absolutely thriving this game. Hopefully going to stay ahead in XP. It does have both the kills for his team now, so already something you like to see. And going on to Surtur as well, we've talked so many times this season about how aggressive Surtur is and the freedom he kind of rewards you later in the game. Has a really safe dive, really hard dive to kind of contend with. And going into Robin, the more they can keep Physics kind of on level, because let's face it, Robin's Surtur completely different playstyles as JoyWolffe forced away from the gold buff. It's going to be a rough one for Physics to find the same pressure that Patro can. Oh, good heart bomb to secure the buff, though.
Definitely great hop on to secure the buff. Great, great steal even. I'd like to expand on what you were trying to say, I believe. I do indeed think that maybe in a team fight, Petro on this Surtur can bring a bit more. However, I do really like the Raven pick on Physics here. Can always dive the background, and when you're playing against gods like Scylla, like Cupid, I think it's great. What is Fato? Physics here having a lot of trouble as RawToasts coming in with the ultimate and actually falling down towards Petro, and that's exactly what you were saying, that not to happen to Physics. That's not going to be great for them.
Not particularly. And now was up about half a level, probably down now a level and a half to the Surtur. Doesn't feel good. That being said, Petro, we saw it last season. Oh, RawToasts is not going to get this back off. LDGFish should find a kill here with the team rotating over. Taking a lot of damage, though. Here comes Defender of the West, so... yeah, that'll be...
Oh, great snipe by Fish there as well to get the knock up over the wall. Wet Wings with a good rotation. Athena with an ult. Absolutely securing a kill. RawToasts obviously being far out of position there, looking for the speed buff in Fade even. Paid with their life for it. Well, it's good to make aggressive decisions sometimes, but this time it surely didn't pay off.
Unfortunate for RawToasts. If they had even 2 seconds more time before the Susanna got there, gets that back off safely and does not pay the price. That being said now, Wild Inferno, they've done a pretty good job stemming the bleeding. I think Dark Omen had about 1,000 gold lead early game. cut back to nearly nothing. 3-man grouping on the right side. I don't see a world where they kill this Surtur when he has ultimate. I'd love to see them after this blue buff maybe pivot, go for a Pyromancer. If Merlin can get into his fire stance at this stage in the game, it's almost like you have a second ADC on those objectives.
Yeah, if not more, Merlin having, well, I said it in picks and bans, one of the great bursts and poke out of the entire game. Maybe not the best confirms since you don't have the big damage ulti, but to actually get it down quickly, I think the only one who really rivals it might be Anubis. And obviously no one is going to play Anubis, at least I hope so. At least not until next patch when he can walk in his one now? Have you seen that?
I have, and I gotta say, I love it. I'm an Anubis fan. When I first started playing the game, hating Anubis because it just kind of destroyed me every game, but you know, after playing him, I think it's a healthy change. Anubis, I think, is still in a spot where you can shut him down pretty easily, almost like you can shut down a Cupid. Wow.
Yeah. Both Fields of Love and Beats coming out here on JoyWolffe, it will not be enough to stop the rocket from ThockManJones, sorry. As Fish actually gets a kill for himself here with the help from REDXWINGS here onto RawToasts. Great ultimate, great combos, and it's that Susanoo power, man. I think it's gonna be unrivaled this match. Already 3-0 now for their team. Level 12, 2 levels up onto the Pele here, and Pele is looking grim right now. Ooh, Maui. Bit of fortunate from Lucent there to not hit the stun after. Same with I'm a Monster. I'm a Monster going down and paying with the life orb for missing. And now Lucent also falling down. Great rotations by REDXWINGS once again. And Petra, I don't think you want to be there, buddy. That's 5 people. And now the gold. Sorry, I'm so sorry.
You're all good. You're all good. Petra does get away. Walking back in now, though. Under half HP, good taunt by Athena to distract both the members. Nishi should be able to get out of there alive as well. Now Wild Inferno turn it on their heads. Now a 2,500 gold swing. They're up by 1.5k. Always a good feeling. Is now Patro gonna blink in, getting aggressive onto the Danzaburo, finds a right one. Oh, another good taunt by the Athena.
Ooh, will pray with their life for the Tonto as Jones actually gets the kill onto Pat, and it's the Bloodforge shield actually coming in clutch there, making sure RawToasts doesn't want to go deeper for that. I guess we were wrong. Bloodforge absolutely saving them, and Wild Inferno getting the second objective here as they immediately started running towards this Pyromancer right after gold, getting both of them down. Yeah, great plays all around the board by especially Wild Inferno in this case. Yeah, I don't even know what more to say about it. Do you have anything to say about this Fish?
Exactly. No, I just found another thing to question, and I mean, now that kind of Bloodforge saved ThockManJones, so maybe I'm a little reverse caster cursing this. Gotta give him some more help. But a kin-size next item, I'm not sure if I love it. I think we've seen the same thing on some mid laners with Soul Reaver. Obviously, kin-size procs off health. It's not going to be as good early in this game, and it's a pretty big ticket item. I think it's 2,600 gold at the moment. Costs a lot of money, a lot more than some of the other items like the Executioner or even the Aussie might be. Does get the Exe online now. And that being said, late game, it's going to be perfectly fine, but maybe now is when JoyWolffe, especially building into crit, has an opportunity to kind of overtake this Danzaburo.
Yeah, REDXWINGS missing his one there on the wave. I saw that. You're not gonna get unpunished without talking about that. Anyway, REDXWINGS dying now in a tower. That's a bit unfortunate. We'll get the return kill because of the slow there onto RawToasts. Might actually be worth for the mid laner from Wild Inferno here. I want to talk about what you were saying with the Danzaburo, with Jones here. I think he can pull it off with both the passive from Danza and the fact that they went Gilded Arrow. Unfortunate. Still Aegis coming out from Steve. Anyway, like I was saying, with both the passive and the Gilded Arrow coming out from Dancer, they're an entire item up, even though they did go for these expensive items. So they definitely pulled it off.
They did, and I mean, that being said, late game, it's not going to be a problem at all. I think it's just for the next 10 minutes or so until kin-size really finds its value. I mean, you're going to be hitting tanks with it, and as of yet, LUCENTCOLORS only with 3 items, and Patroclez kind of building a little bit hybrid with that Golden Blade. I think going for the kind of mitigation solo lane build is still pretty solid. Does have the Sigil, so should be the right build path. That being said, now Dark Omen looking for this Danzaburo, ThockManJones. Oh, good blink by RawToasts. Oh,
going in? both. Okay. That is both relics coming out now from the Dancebureau after the ultimate, as Athena's ulting in. Maui already having thrown the island down. It's a lot of ultimates on the fight, but no deaths whatsoever. Yeah, 3 ultimates on Dark Omen here, where One of only used 2. However, that's both relics for Dance down. I am not sure if it was the play to go in there with the rocket.
Maybe not. I'm guessing knew that Nishi was ulting over and that they had LDGFish nearby, so not gonna get punished for it. That being said, I don't know how much chance of kind of a kill on the back end there is. Might just been easier to full-on run away, avoid a little bit of poke. That being said, though, they've now established themselves on this left side of the map. Didn't set up wards, though, as Red Wings should fall here. Aegis's RawToasts not able to find the damage. Yeah, Red Wings should live now. Both teams making appearances in mid. I wouldn't be surprised if this turns into a big team fight before the next neutral objective falls.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, but both relics down on both your mid laner and your ADC now if you're One Inferno. If Dark Omen gets a chance to fight as a team, they should do it now. Especially if One Inferno decides to start up the Gold Fury here. I would contest this if I was Dark Omen.
Definitely would. They can afford to as well. LUCENTCOLORS doesn't have the landfall up. They got a lot of utility, especially Silazol. Oh, I don't know about that play. If I'm Dark Omen, especially with RawToasts on the back here, I'm keeping that Fury alive. Could have easily baited them into a fight. Now it's going to have to be a full-on engage. Jones is going to be able to get the rocket off, and now Nishi is a target for the melee. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, Fish and Jones coming in from the back there. Fields of Love coming out. It will not be enough. Landfall coming out now as well. As it's still not enough Lucent now falling down low. Lucent will fall down towards Jones getting a double kill. As Fish gets a double kill on himself on a Susanoo. And now it's only Patro left alive, ulting out. And this Gold Fury will be practically free. Not the kind of fight you would like to see if you're Dark Omen. I thought they had the fight there, but apparently I was wrong.
I mean, quite frankly, just a misplay because admittedly they did have the fight. If they had just kept that Fury alive, not only do they force Wild Inferno to step up, I mean, they take the Fury, nothing else secures Scylla in this game, I don't think. That being said, they didn't notice RawToast on the back end either. I personally think it would have been an easy secure. You can transition that into a pinch when Wild Inferno steps up, but overplay their hand a little bit and unfortunately pay the price for it. Now Wild Inferno gets a Gold Fury and the Pyro as well. 6,000 gold up, and they want the Fire Giant. Patro, that is, not the real. Oh, I guess I want both. Oh no, they're ignoring the Fire Giant. They baited me.
They're ignoring both Fire Giants.
Dang.
Surprising, as Patro obviously didn't have ult up just quite yet since they used it to get out last fight. I think they could have killed it pretty easily with 5 of them there. Maybe they were scared for RawToasts to rotate back in as everyone from Dark Omen was back alive again. I would have still gone for it, but I am also kill hungry most of the time.
Hey, kill hungry can be okay in certain scenarios. I think I'm normally a pretty big preacher of XP over kills. That being said, kills can open the door for XP. Physics does use the immunity here. Dancebureau ulting in from nowhere, gets a stun onto Patro. Wow, barely escapes.
Patro just coming out with a sliver of HP as the rocket all the way coming down over here. Dancebureau pushing the solo lane. I guess some free XP from JoyWolffe there. Gotta be careful, as now Physics actually jumping in, and we'll come back to that later. RawToasts being forced to beat and ult out. And it's actually Physics in trouble a bit now, as the tower will fall down, so it's a bit of help for Wild Inferno. And Wild Inferno doesn't need any help, as they're just gashing down onto Patro. Patro will fall down towards Physics here. And great rotations once again. Wild Inferno is just playing like a very good oiled machine right now. If Dark Omen has any problem, RawToasts stepping up here will cost them their life. It's just that they're making individual plays instead of playing like a team. I think I've said this about a team before, but right now I think it might be a comms diff.
I mean, we can maybe be conservative and chalk that up to having a new support. That being said, I think Lucent's been playing well this game. Certainly not a problem on this team. This Dancebureau Izzo, level 19 at 20.5 minutes. Doing really good level-wise. Obviously, Susanoo at 20. But now, Wild Inferno are in a little bit of a tough position. They've been doing a good job pushing down these objectives. but in my mind, they have to wipe Steve off the map before they can go for the big things like the Fire Giant or the Oni Fury when it eventually spawns. The Scylla Steel is so potent, it doesn't matter how ahead you are in a game. It's 50-50 at best when that Scylla shows up to that Fire Giant.
Yeah, definitely. I'm a monster. I'm not sure if it's the most damaging ability in the game. In one go, that must be. Otherwise, it's obviously Ganesh ultimate. However, for
Right.
one big burst, I'm not sure if it's the most damage you can do in the game, but it's definitely close to there. It's more than a Merlin can ever do, so I do agree with you that Scylla has better skill, but Halted Father's Petra now in a lot of trouble. Yeah, Wolffe down to the overhead kick. I'm sorry, Landfall coming out now, and Fish in trouble as the Fields of Love also coming down. I'm a monster already dropped down, and now it's a big fight, and it's actually, it looks like Dark Omen is losing it after they got the first pick onto Fish. A double kill now here with two people from Dark Omen already falling down, that being the solo laner and the jungler, and it looks like it calmed down a bit. Looked for a little while there that JoyWolffe might have also fell down, but they lived for now. But oh well, one Inferno now looking at a Gold Fury, I do believe, as it's about to spawn, and there it is.
Could have maybe stretched for the Fire Giant as well, given that the I'm a Monster is off the board. But now, while we got a short break, if I'm Dark Omen, I honestly don't think a Primal Fury is worth contesting. Steve does, and is probably going to pay with their life.
Yep.
Oh, wow. Barely. But I think while we have a pause in the action, I gotta look over at the damage charts. There is a 21,000 damage difference between the ADCs. To be fair to JoyWolffe, I know ADC not their primary role. I believe normally a support player, but that's pretty monumental in any role. That's kind of a tough one to overlook.
It's kind of tough to only have done 3,000 damage in general, no matter who you are playing. The fact that you're underneath your Maui, it kind of does say a lot. And, you know, normally I don't like to be too hard on players, but since JoyWolffe has been my partner last year as a caster, I think I'm allowed to, and I think they need to step up their game right here.
I gotta say, I queue with Joy a lot. I love Joy. But, yeah, I mean, in all fairness, Maui and Athena, both aggressive supports, would honestly expect those two as well to have more player damage than they do, given just kind of how fast-paced. Oh, there's a good Donzaburo Aegis. Did mitigate 0 damage. Unfortunate misclick there for Jones. Luckily, though, I think this happened a few weeks ago. If I'm an ADC, or anyone for that matter, I would much rather misclick my Aegis than misclick my beads. Luckily, still going to have that one up. Not going to need them, though. Engaging. It's a 2-on-3, but they're still in the lead. Finds it on the troll.
Yeah, just going across the Scylla, just ignoring the Scylla, ignoring Petro, and only looking at this Cupid booty, getting them from behind and securing the kill with the nuke from Donzaburo ult. Massive plays there. I'm not sure if that's some personal rivalry there, as they are both ADCs. I would have gone for the Scylla there, because now Dark Omen still has a chance to actually steal this with I'm a Monster being up to grab this Fire Giant. Sorry, Fire Giant's falling down low, and it's actually only Petra coming close. I think Petra stole it.
No, I thought it was a Scylla, I'm a Monster, but regardless, Dark Omen take the Fire Giant, and just like you said, I mean, granted, not completely sure if it was Surtur or Scylla. I'm gonna believe it's Scylla because it'd make me feel better that I called it earlier. So I'm gonna go with that, and that is why I think Danza probably should target the Scylla. That being said, though, by killing the Cupid, they had a lot better fight after the FG, even though it was stolen. Little bit surprised, given the way they've been playing this game, they didn't elect to just run it down immediately. But I like this play. If they get these backs off, ooh, it's going to be close. No, they don't. It's a 4v2 over in mid. And REDWING's going to fall first.
Well, I think I might have cast a cursed fish. I was just praising them for how good their comms have been, but now they're just running out with, like, running headless around, and Jones will probably also fall down here. JoyWolffe being forced to use both relics once again, but will live. And actually, now it's both the mid laner and the ADC from one Inferno falling down right after, losing the Fire Giant, but still deciding to push up with the two of them, while both of your tanks back to base. I take back everything I said about good comms.
Oh, hey, can't take it all back. Maybe weren't expecting Dark Omen to be on that right side of the map, maybe thinking they were going to group up down mid or something. With the Fire Giant that three of them have around their belts, oh, regardless, good landfall, but not going to land to anybody. Double stun, though, from the Maui.
Physics being very tanky, also not being hit all that much, helps him a lot. They're staying alive. Lucent not done with this yet, grabbing the Athena, back in. But nothing will come for it now. They're just staring each other to death, which is probably in favor of Wild Inferno here, as they are slowly getting the Dancer Burrow back now as well towards lane. As well as this Fire Giant, which is not infinite, it will run out after a little while for Dark Omen here. Uh-oh. There goes Joy, there goes Lucent, and they're not done yet. Rocket coming in, Physics chasing as well. There's both ultimates, and now, and on Steve, I'm a Monster coming out will not be enough, as Jones will get the double kill for himself. And in the backline though, Pele did get one back as Fish almost fell down for themselves, but it's a 4-4-2 over here. Losing your support and your mid laner for everyone except for the solo laner, that's a very good deal over here. Especially remembering Dark Omen was the one with Fire Giant before.
It is for sure, and now that the Dancer Burrow is still up, it's only the Surtur on defense. If I was Wild Inferno, they're going to get the Pyro here. I would honestly just run to that tier 2 in mid, expose all the Phoenixes before this next Fire Giant comes up. Should be about another minute, a little bit less than a minute and a half. I think like minute 20 we'll call it. Yeah, sounds about right. But now the Dancer Burrow going to be getting Oracles, not pushing in mid, so maybe they're saving that for after, as a Primal Fury is going to be the next one on the menu.
Yeah, as we're 27 minutes into this game, it's not that late yet for a standard game of Smite. I mean, EFG hasn't even spawned yet, but I can't imagine this game taking much more than about 5 more minutes. I am not sure. I think Dark Omen, unless they steal the Fire Giant again, they might be in big trouble now.
And for me personally, I don't even know if that would help, because admittedly, I don't think being down in levels and stuff is hurting them terribly. They're only a level behind in a few roles. The builds are similar-ish. The one item, obviously not good to have, but shouldn't make a big difference. However, I think Wild Inferno's fighting, as a team, even as individually, have looked much, much better across boards. Specifically, a 35,000 damage Dancer Burrow. He's absolutely running the game right now, and there is nothing Dark Omen can do to stop it.
Definitely, Dancer just going into the nuke and deciding, okay, who am I going to delete right now? Or at least get both relics and probably still delete them afterwards. It's a big power spike to have, as well as the Susanoo also being 7-in-1. Having the same kind of options, just shredding through defense like it's butter, like it's nothing. I mean, they do have the 2 blades, so I guess they are a good butter knifer. I'm not even sure what I'm saying anymore. Ooh, landfall coming out though, as Jones being forced to use both relics instantly. Now Patro in a bit of a bad situation. However, the tankiness will save them. There comes the nuke. Going for RawToasts here. RawToasts falling down towards the nuke. Was already very low, as now Patro going up in the sky, and there comes Fields of Love. Hitting one. Patro going back in actually. I'm not sure about that one. Having a bit of damage here on Jones. In the backline though, JoyWolffe being forced to dash out as Jones finally gets a kill on Patro, and now Physics looking at Wolf. Oh, great pull by Lucent. They're saving their ADC for now. It's not over yet. Dance is still there, and now Lucent will fall down themselves for a triple kill by Jones here. Looking at the tower, and we're 30 minutes in. EFG is about to spawn in about 20 seconds.
And admittedly, that fight, I think, didn't go nearly as bad as some of them have been going for Dark Omen. That being said, though, at the end of the day, it doesn't really accomplish what you wanted to. Fire Giant, because there's no I'm a monster, in my mind, not even contestable here from Dark Omen. If I'm Steve and JoyWolffe, falling back to the Phoenixes, don't defend the Fire Giant, don't defend the tier 2 tower. It is not going to work. Luckily for them, though, I don't think Nishi saw the Scylla dashing in there. Maybe could have been engaged for Wild Inferno to get one more down.
Yeah, but playing it safe for now, don't want to make the same mistake they kind of did. It's a little bit different, but kind of did when the Fire Giant did get stolen. Look at this group up, though, from the buffs. Okay. Don't see that too often this late into the game, but I guess great on them. But like I was saying, everyone from Wild Inferno, just spend your money that you just got from a big fight, getting EFG as well, and just make up for ending the game. Like I said before, I think I said it 3 minutes ago, this match is not going to take more than 5 minutes, and I keep by that words. This match is ending before the 33rd minute, and I'm sure of it.
Sure of it. Okay, well, there you hear it. Strong words from Jeffrey. I think, for the record, though, do have to echo your sentiment. They all have Fire Giant. They're all pretty head in builds. They're all level 20, with exception of Nishi. In my mind, I don't see anything Dark Omen can do with the way they've been playing. They're good in the levels, but haven't looked good so far as a team. But RawToasts picking up Jones, that is gonna hurt the engage here from Wild Inferno.
Maybe I'm not too sure of it anymore.
Aha! We got him.
Anyway, they still have a decent fight here. It's really bad for them that their ADC did die. Jones being an absolute powerhouse right now. Great pick by RawToasts here to actually go for that. They're looking at the Gold Fury right now, playing it a bit slow. If I was Wild Inferno here, I'm not sure if I would have played it this slow, but I guess they like to have it safe. But right now you have the big advantage, and I think you should capitalize on it a little bit more.
You should, for sure. I mean, they still have about 2.5, 3 minutes left on this Fire Giant. So in terms of rushing, they certainly still have a little bit of time to play with. That being said, would like them to engage before the end of the game, but instead it's Dark Omen turning up the tempo, trying to get some damage on LDGFish. Massive return from the Susano.
Yeah, RawToasts thought he had a place there, but, well, LDGFish just pressed beats and absolutely destroyed everything RawToasts was after. Physics not done yet. Fields of Love coming out. Will it be enough to save Petro? For now, yes. Fields of Love did get cancelled out by the overhead kick. And oh no. And on Steve absolutely immediately falling down as they dashed right into Fish here. REDXWINGSXFTW pulling out a lot of damage on the Merlin fire stance. And Lucent, that's not where you want to jump right now. Running in. Fish absolutely shredding defense, like I said before. It's like butter. And now they might be looking at the Phoenix here, maybe even the Titan after. Then Zaburo split pushing mid. Athena ult on top of it. Phoenix falling down very quickly. JoyWolffe will live for now as Petro will fall down. JoyWolffe will also fall down in the back. 33 minutes in. I was off with about 10 seconds, but I think this might be the end. RawToasts here trying to stop them for now. Great ultimate. But no, Merlin damage being too much as the game will end here for game 1. Well played, GG.
I could get drunk off the lights of a city. Late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone now, that shit's broken. 2 AM and I'm lost in Brooklyn, missing home.
Well, welcome back as we're looking at the stats here. There are some obvious things to talk about and some less obvious things to talk about. What do you want to talk about first, Fish?
I think the first thing I have to do is give credit to Jones. I know we were questioning the build a lot, but, you know, got to late game, got the damage done. 44k in a 33-minute game. Really, really good. On the opposite side, when we look at this Dark Omen team, quite simply, they need to get their damage numbers up. I really think Pele was the only one that kind of had good numbers, not only compared to their lane counterpart, but just in general. You need more out of the ADC in mid. You definitely need more out of the solo, given how the Robin was playing that game. And I think just a little bit more cohesion. It didn't look like Dark Omen knew exactly what they wanted to do going into that game.
Yeah, you know, if I gotta say one thing, at least JoyWolffe in the last fight got more damage than Maui overall. So props to them for not being the least damage in the game, but it's being the second to least last, being behind the Athena on the other side, that's probably not a good look. I would like to see Joy on a maybe a bit more meta Hunter this time. Also, maybe get a pick a little bit later, as I do think Danse is a bit of a counter pick towards this Cupid. So they were unlucky in that regard. Still not an excuse to do less than 7,000 damage in a 33-minute match. But yeah, I mean, Fish 11-2, Jones 13-2. Absolutely phenomenal performances. I think REDXWINGS did a lot as well, having 18 assists on the Merlin here. Maybe not getting credits for the kills, but still being there all of the time. Having a lot of great ganks all around. Like you were saying before as well, the Ravana being an absolute powerhouse, mad beast. Great rotations, but also just great presence everywhere. And just don't forget about Athenatons. I am not even sure what I'm saying anymore, but yeah, great team performance. I think they had 1 or 2 bad calls, but overall, they played very, very solid.
They did indeed, and I think on the flip side, as much as we've talked about kind of Dark Omen having a little bit of a rough game, maybe having some members not contribute as much as we'd like them to, it's a team that's comprised of a lot of really, really strong players. They definitely have the ability to come back into this game and force us to Game 3. I'd love to see it. I don't know if they will, though, but we're going to see what both these teams change going into the next match. We'll be back on the desk for Game 2 between Dark Omen and Wild Inferno.
Cigarettes out. Fuck, I always feel so burned out. I never smoked before I met you. Now I chain smoke the way I like to kiss you. Cause I know you're with them while I'm here, staring at a red light. Stopped, windows down, cursing at the street signs. When every road could lead me back to the memories that we once had, yeah. Tell me how this so easily falls apart. Cause damn, you still fucking have my heart. And all I have is another of your cigarettes lit, but not a single fuck left to give. I could explode, I feel like gasoline when you're mad at me. Lit a match in the wind, so I'm asking please. I try to cope, go through the motions, no, I got a noose around my throat. Fuck, I love you, but I know that I should let you go. Situations got me pressed in, I'm on overload. I'm on overload, so another of your cigarettes out. Fuck, I always feel so burned out. I never smoked before I met you. Now I chain smoke the way I like to kiss you. Cause I know you're with them while I'm here, staring at a red light. Stopped, windows down, cursing at the street signs. When every road could lead me back to the memories that we once had, yeah. Tell me how this so easily falls apart. Cause damn, you still fucking have my heart. Tell me how this so easily falls apart. Cause damn, you still fucking have my heart. And all I have is another of your cigarettes lit. I don't wanna feel as cold as the winter. Let me sink into your bedroom floor. Lovely how lonely we are together. Crazy how I hold on for a little more. Drive into the night, I miss you sleeping. Where did you go? As soft as you're breathing, you left me alone. And I miss the late nights, so where did you go? Cause you were my safe ride, now I drive alone. Don't hit like they used to, never as high as it was when I'm with you. So I drink to cope, it's an issue, okay. New Year's Day so now it's a new me. Tell me why I'm so fucking lonely. I don't know why you won't love me the same.
Welcome back to Game 2 of Dark Omen versus Wild Inferno. I said it right this time. Are you proud of me, Dad? Anyways, Game 2, as the first game has been finished, which is usually when you go towards Game 2. I'm still Jeffrey, and I'm still here with KingFsher.
Still here indeed, primed and ready for game 2. And I think, admittedly, I don't think picks and bans was really the problem for Dark Omen last game. Granted, the Dance Burrow was absolutely unstoppable. The Susano looked really good as well. But I think this loss kind of came from within themselves. I think they need to be talking about what they can do to coordinate their team better, make sure they're all on the right page with each other, than really worrying about any specific part of the enemy's game plan. But they do take one off the table in the Susano. I guess I took out the Athena as well, so a little bit of running back the bans from last game.
Yeah, we see on the left side here, we see the exact same bands as they did last time. However, on the right side of your screen, we see two maybe targeted bands after last game, as both the Susano and the Athena have been picked up last game. So I guess they are a bit scared of it. And well, they did play very, very well on it. Still the Mercury though, as well, that's a bit too expected. Does mean the Acne stayed up this time, where they opted to target ban it out for Red Wings last time. However, still going for the Merlin. Fair enough, they did very well last game. A Tiamat in response this time instead of the Scylla. Who do you think is better, Tiamat or Scylla?
Admittedly, I think the Tiamat's better. I know I always talk about objective secure and stuff. That's always something I personally like out of my mages. And you're definitely going to be missing the I'm a Monster from last game. That being said, Tiamat right now, it's a really strong pick, and especially into Merlin, it's normally the matchup we see. It's going to be a strong one to say the least, and should, even if they're behind, the Tiamat gets a lot more down and dirty in the team fights than the Scylla does. So hopefully Steve going to have more of an impact, and a Guan Yu solo. Pretty both similar and different solo laner here from Patroclez.
Yeah, Guan Yu still being very solid though, as yeah, I don't even know how to explain it. They're just pretty damn solid. Going for a bit of the same playstyle as the Surtur though. Still pretty safe, still pretty teamfight oriented. So not going towards the Ravana like the other team did in game 1, like Physics picked in game 1. So no, like not a lot of pick potential, not a lot of pressure. But still, you got, yeah, well, I mean, I'm rambling, but you still got the team fight, you still got the lane, most likely, if it's going to be another Ravana or something like it. But let's move on. Churnanos and Capri being locked in here. I really like Capri. However, with both, with the jungler still needing to be picked up and Thanatos not being banned out, it's a bit scary. Your ult might be useless. However, it's still good, and you also make sure Lucent doesn't get it, as Lucent has a nasty Capri. Churnanos, probably one of the stronger ADCs right now, probably one of the stronger ADCs for the last like 4 seasons even. Yeah, what do you have to say about this fish?
Well, as you know, I am a Cernanos fan. Absolutely love to see it here. And I think by not going back to the Danza Burrow, admittedly could have, the Danza was really strong. Cernanos kind of offers the same thing. It's a really, really aggressive ADC that has high auto attack damage early in the game, translates well into the late game. I don't really find much faults with it at all. That being said, the Neja jungler, it's certainly not a bad pick, but there's still a lot of really good junglers right now. I mean, could have ran back the Pele, which admittedly I think RawToasts, one of the real shining spots of the Dark Omen team that last game, did pretty good. Could have taken something like a Thor also. But, I mean, that being said, Neja, it's not a bad jungler in any respect, so, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, as much as I think Naja might be one of my favorites, I would have really liked to see a Thanatos, like I said before here, with the execute for the Capri ultimates. However, you do you, play something you are very confident on, and I sure hope they are on the Naja. Still having to see the jungler here for LGDFish this game will be an exciting pick to look forward for, as we see a Ganesh being banned out here. You cannot ban out Lucent. It's not a thing you can do. It's still not a bad ban, but I don't know. I would have liked to see maybe an ADC ban here. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, ADC ban would have been nice, especially onto something. I don't know. I think the Ish are one of the main ADCs that comes to mind for me that can really rival Cernanos in terms of aggression. That being said, last game, JoyWolffe wasn't necessarily a problem. I don't know if that's necessarily due to his team being behind from the start or being on the Cupid, but regardless, I think they're feeling a little bit more scared about Lucent, who, even though his team lost, had a really good game last time on the Maui.
And you also gotta remember on JoyWolffe last game, they got to pick Cupid before the Dancer was locked in. And like I've been saying, Dancer is a bit of a counter pick towards this Cupid. You don't have an ultimate when you're Cupid. Gabby though, whatever JoyWolffe opts to go for now, they have a lot of help from the Gap shield, Gap ult. I really, really like Gap, and I don't like that he's not in the meta right now. I think he's such a great god. What do you think about Gap?
I highlight Geb until the next patch hits, where they reduce shield by a ton, and Geb is suddenly one of the worst supports in the game.
Yes.
That being said, the only thing I'm kind of concerned about with the Geb, obviously, is passive, a really, really important part of the kit. With reducing those critical strikes, LDGFish went a very off-kilter build last game, didn't go crit, so don't know how much use Lucent's going to find out of that. If that's something that went into the pick, but, I mean, even without it, Geb, really strong ultimate, little bit of CC immunity, and getting the teammates out of the Khepri pluck in particular is going to be massive this game.
For sure. For sure, I do definitely agree with you. And a Wheelix, that's interesting. Immediately the Sobek as well for the knockups. You have a little bit of a knockup, I do believe, with Merlin. I think a Wheelix can pick out of it. Got your own knockup and a Sobek pluck. Only a Tiamat jump though, so not too much on the other side that you can pick up. But I really, really think a Wheelix is massively underrated right now, and I love seeing her here. What do you think?
Wheelix is definitely a strong pick. That being said, there aren't very many jumps on the enemy team. Only Tiamat, and even so, it's kind of a small one. It can be hard to time a little bit, but that being said, they do have the Sobek knockup, which should make it extremely easy here for Fish to land some plucks on the Wheelix. So I think still a good pick. I'd be a little bit concerned about how much value it's gonna find versus if it was into a different team comp.
Probably. I still like it though, especially. Well, I mean, we're rambling here as we're waiting for RawToasts to pick the last pick here for probably JoyWolffe, as they still need an ADC. But like I've said before, with Sobek pluck, with your own knockup, and you don't know, like you kind of make JoyWolffe forced to pick a hunter that doesn't really have a jump. You can't pick the Anhe now, you can't really pick the Ula now. Opting to go for Chiron, or Chiron being pretty okay. But yeah, I really like a Wheelix here. I think you're not giving it enough credit.
Okay, if you say so. But we are gonna have to wait until we get in game to see for sure. It's two very different team comps, two that look different from last game, and we'll have to wait to see which team is able to come out on top in game number 2. Dark Omen taking on Wild Inferno.
I don't wanna feel as cold as the winter. Let me sit go, as soft as your breathing. You left me alone, and I miss the late nights. So where did you go? 'Cause you were my safe ride. Now I drive alone. I miss you sleeping, as soft as your breathing. You left me alone. I miss the late nights, 'cause you were my safe ride. Now I drive alone. I miss you sleeping. Where did you go? As soft as your breathing. You left me alone, and I miss the late nights.
The buffs have been pulled as we watch the solo line. Wait, sorry, the solo side lane. Whatever. We're looking. Are they gonna pick up the right buffs? That's the big question here. Not the best buff clear this time. A lot better last time. Are we gonna see Fish back again immediately? Does seem to be the case. Right now, I'm not sure about it, man. REDWINGS going alone here into the mid lane against the Nasha and Lucent. Lucent actually being mid this time. Sorry, we didn't even talk about it. We had a bit of a role swap here. Lots of stuff going on. Fish, please help me through this.
I mean, covering the role swap first, I think it's a good idea. I think it was pretty obvious last game they did not have a ton of chemistry going into it. And I think getting Joy onto a role where he's more comfortable is definitely nice. I mean, you're going to miss having Lucent as support for sure. That being said, I think Joy is a pretty good support. I think went pretty undervalued when he did play in some old leagues. So it should be interesting to see what they're able to do, taking a little bit of poke damage early on. Not too much to be worried about, but LDGFish is here at level 3, trying to find something onto the Geb. Not going to happen though. JoyWolffe escapes with 250 health.
At this point, you think Wild Inferno might just be bullying JoyWolffe with whatever they can as the instant gank coming out once again here by Dark Omen. Not quite, by Wild Inferno. Not quite finding the kill this time. Like you were saying before, Gap coming out. That's just the Gap safety, especially this early game, but also, I mean, not especially early game, because you get it all game. But yeah, just Gap stuff. Petra here, I'm moving on. Petra here being in a bit of trouble here though. Clear being stopped by the pluck. Great pluck by Physics here. Who do you think wins the solo lane?
It's a little bit hard to say. I would just assume inherently that Patra will. He's gonna have more damage. Physics building into a tablet of destinies, which we do see a lot of Guardians do. I mean, that being said, Sobek just simply not as much damage as Guan Yu, especially if he's gonna build the kind of meta for solo laners. If it's a full damage Sobek, I don't know what to say. Really hoping it won't be. That being said, though, late game, I don't think it's going to matter who wins a lane. They're both going to have a really, really different impact on their team style of play.
Alright, sorry Fish. Help me get your thought process here, right? You're hoping it's a Netflix solo who is just going to be boring all game instead of full damage.
I mean,
why would you not want him to be full damage?
For our entertainment purposes, no, but I think, I mean, Wild Inferno don't want to push this to game 3, I'm assuming. Most teams want to win in 2, you know? And I think just having a traditional Sobek would definitely help them with that. Granted, I've never tried full damage Sobek. Maybe it's the most broken thing in the game, but I'm inclined to think that it isn't.
Yeah, it's not the most broken thing in the game. However, Guardians going full damage has always been a thing that it's kind of underestimated. Granted, I'm jesting here. Of course, Sobek probably isn't going to go full damage. I do like that they start out with some of it though.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a very similar build to the Jormungandr one we see most times, which I think is Tablet Destinies. The Jormungandrs occasionally build Soul Reaver too, really late game. Seriously doubt we're going to see that from the Sobek, but I would expect some defense coming in after this one. Ooh, Patro, I think, is going to have enough health. Yeah, Physics not able to channel it long enough to quite get the damage they needed off.
That was a great pluck though, like going around the Bastion to actually hit that pluck. Yeah, That's pretty damn neat of them. I mean, yeah, I don't even know what to say about it. Like, we've of course seen already before Ula stunning Bastions with their X on purpose or not on purpose. I'm still not quite sure. But missing that Bastion just by a sliver and actually getting the pluck as we go into a pause here, so we will be right back. But I just want to say great plays. Very quick pause indeed, as we are heading back in immediately, still in the mid lane here watching. Don't worry folks, you didn't miss anything, they're just clearing waves right now. As Fish is looking to help a little bit here with Red Wings, immediately leaving them though, just like my dad left me. Oh wait, that's a lie, haha. How are you doing, Fish?
I'm doing great, man. We did miss them clearing the mid wave. I mean, that was a pretty big point of action early game on the XP camps, but unfortunately not going to get that same level of highlights here. And already, Jones is a level up again, but does not have a kill. And going back into the Bloodforge, I mean, we saw how useful it can be last game, so I'm not going to question it as much. I would still say I do like the normal build better, but we're not going to see that either from Anon Steve. The Chiron build, certainly going to be much, much different stylistically.
Yeah, Chiron going probably full damage as you would expect onto gods like the Chiron, like the Ula. And although it might not be the most meta right now, I think it's very, very strong, as it always is in the back of your mind. And it absolutely can one hit. And actually, you want me to tell you something, Fish?
I would love you to tell me something.
I got a pentakill about a week ago on Chiron full
Yo.
damage.
I got one pentakill in my life, and it was on Cernino, so I guess we're going to be rooting for opposite ADCs this game. But yeah, as now Patroclez dropping low, going to use the ultimate physics. Luckily, going to sense the gank. Oh, maybe they're
RawToasts.
not. Oh, misses the sash. That's painful.
Ooh. Both the sash and... Oh. Well, that's not who they wanted to hit, but they did hit someone, so it wasn't missed. Now ultimate coming out, but great beats by RawToasts to not get picked up here by Oelix. Yeah, I don't know, RawToast. I like I said, I thought the Nasha was gonna be a very comfortable pick for them, but missing the sash, missing the wing toss, and then let's be honest, they missed the ult over there. Accidentally hit Fish, who was just lurking over there. I don't even think Dark Omen knew Fish was there until he was up in the air together with Nasha. I would say great plays, but I don't. Interesting plays. Let's just keep it at that.
Interesting plays, very nice way to put it. Luckily, though, I don't think the Neja missing that gank is going to be anything to be worried about going forward. You know, it happens to the best of us, especially I played Neja for one game. I probably missed, not even kidding here, 10 out of my 15 ultimates. It can be a tricky thing, either that or I'm just mechanically bad at this game. Regardless, though, this mid-Harpy camp... wow, thank you for that. That makes me feel nice. Dark Omen should get all three of these Harpies here. No, I think Merlin steals away a couple. Good job by Red Wings.
Good job indeed. And of course, I am jesting, Fisher. You are the goat. As here in the duo lane, it's Jones popping their shard and then missing every single basic attack in the world. Doesn't get root off just barely. And now Capri... Fish is here, getting the kill.
Fish is there, getting the kill indeed. Don't know if they needed to extend Wild Hunt. That whole thing was a little confusing. Almost looks like there could have been lag there. I don't know, though. Not gonna dwell too long on it, but more importantly, Chiron falls for the first blood. Giving it over to your jungler is something very, very smart. I think we saw last game that Jones, very comfortable in lane, rotated out early and performed tremendously. So I think giving it to Fish, because, I mean, Toast, in my mind, was the best player on Dark Omen last game. Anything you can do to get Fish ahead helps. Just like that, massive pull-in from the Oelix, not quite enough damage. LUCENTCOLORS stays alive under his own tower, and very smart, good, patience by Lucent not to expend the beads there.
Yeah, and you know, now you're telling it, now you're bringing it to light to me in a bit of a different way. I agree. I think Jones missed all of his basic attacks, and Capri missed all of their abilities on purpose, just so Fish could get first blood. I agree. That's definitely what happened. You know, I was so wrong. Anyway, going over into the mid lane here. Not quite yet. We are looking at a wave right now. But mid camps, though, grouping up, they're being done right now, as they did go towards Wild Inferno once again in the solo lane. Bit of a fight for this cooldown buff, and it looks like Physics will get it. Uh-oh. In the tower, bit of trouble for Steve. They will find themselves safe for now. Not quite comfortable with tower diving just quite yet at level 7 on Capri here. Great ward vision by Dark Omen, so they do know both Fish and the Capri are still here. Backing now off, seeing, you know, Chiron probably just playing a little bit too safe to gank right now.
Definitely is, especially with the Centaurus, the self-cleansers, really a lot of CC immunity things to kind of keep that Chiron alive. Really tricky to gank at any stage of the game, including this early, and we saw a big group up there from Wild Inferno and left. I'm a little bit surprised that they didn't elect to go for a Gold Fury there. I guess so. Dark Omen do have a ward on it, so it would have been contested at the very least, and now we see Patro kind of get to that stage where they are clearing much quicker than Physics is. Still dealing with the rest of the wave while Patro's able to go ward up on that shallow right-hand side. I would say objectives should be a pretty big focus soon, but honestly, there's only one kill so far. I think there's going to be a lot more before anything interesting happens. Lucent loses about half HP to combo Anishi and Red Wings in mid.
Yeah, we're 10 minutes in and only 1 kill so far. It's a bit of a slower game than it was last game, but it's kind of what we expect from Wild Inferno in this division, isn't it? They are kind of known for having the slower games now since, well, we are in week 4, so we have been studying them quite a bit. Do still have a great chance of winning it though. It's almost like they're playing EU style, like from back in my hometown, you know, we always played slow. Not me, I'm just kill chasing and then losing my team the game, but you know, most of the good EU players do play very slow.
I mean, and I think I'm a pretty big fan of, maybe not the EU style, but slow play, cautious play in general, I really like. LDGFish takes out Patro in the right lane, might open the door here and left for Wild Inferno, and they are trying to chase it down. JoyWolffe falling to about half HP. If I'm Wild Inferno, honestly, rotate, take the Pyromancer. It's an easy objective, and we see Awelix and Sobek doing just that.
Yeah, but immediate response by Dark Omen as well, as they did pull the Gold Fury. Pyro will fall down here towards Wild Inferno. Gold Fury being pulled, but not for free. The Pyro was for free. This will not be, as now it's actually everyone from Inferno also going in. Ooh, up into the sky goes RawToasts together with Jones. Gold Fury is being dropped for now as Toast. Oh, just barely off the mark with the timing. Capri ult, of course, making sure that Jones probably was going to get that kill regardless, but I would have liked to see the ult by Jones being duped with the sash. I think it was frame perfect to actually still get hit. That's a bit unfortunate. Gold Fury dropped, so only the Pyromancer fell down, but still a kill towards Wild Inferno.
A kill gonna go their way indeed, and now 3-0, a 3,000 gold lead. Not reminiscent of last game yet, but could get close for Dark Omen. That being said, I like the way they've been playing a lot more. A couple deaths rather early. You never love, but at this stage they haven't given too much away. It's only been a Pyromancer and a Runic Bomb. It's nice to have in the pocket for sure. Might look to use it on this Gold Fury. And different from last game, without the Scylla, not much objective steal from either team. I think having that Runic Bomb should allow Wild Inferno to play a lot more aggressively than they normally would on this next objective.
Yeah, for sure, as they probably just get it, right? Like, of course, there is going to be a bit of a struggle, but they are in a big favor to just take it home, as Oracle's being pulled right now by Wild Inferno. It's just Caprio for now, though. So Red Wings now coming over to help. Who's going to get it? Does seem like Wild Inferno just did take both of them. Pretty good for them, as now they also got Vision on this Gold Fury.
Vision on the Gold Fury, always nice to have. is now a little bit of spread out play from Wild Inferno. Pretty even split across the board, but Aurelix is here and left. They've already looked towards that Gold Fury pit once or twice. If they can get a gank kill here on a Chiron, I don't think they're expecting Chiron with no wards. Indeed, Cernos gonna dash in. Chiron rooted. Chiron forcing the Centaurus. That is gonna spell his demise. Jones just letting him farm a little bit of extra damage, and on the flip side, Physics getting farmed for some damage. Good dash from RawToasts, but the block!
Pluck. Yeah, Pluck, baby. Pluck pulling RawToasts back into the tower. Did not expect that, probably. Ultimate was down, and now JoyWolffe will fall down as well towards Red Wings, and this is probably free Gold Fury going towards it. Lucent is close, and Lucent being the mid laner this time also does have steal potential. However, it's full of Wild Inferno, so I'm not sure if you want to step up there. They decide to not do it, and Gold Fury will fall down towards Wild Inferno uncontested here.
Great plays from Wild Inferno. They get 3 kills and a Gold Fury. Absolutely love to see it. And a great play by Physics on the right side, ensuring that RawToasts falls with him. Now pushing this gold lead closer to that 4,000 mark. 15 minutes, it's a pretty good lead, about 800 to roll. And now Physics gonna get the proper revenge. Patroclez falls in the right lane. Now Wild Inferno, the question is, if you're them, what do you do next? All the tier 1 towers are still up. What do you think the next move has to be for this Order side team?
Just get a fight near Fire Giant and then just take Fire Giant probably. You are ahead quite a bit. Your Oelix is 2-0, 2 levels up on Ninasha. Also just straight up a better team fighter than Ninasha ever will be in their dreams. Gold-wise, of course, I'm not talking about the players right now. As well, I mean, your Merlin just a little bit behind in XP, just hitting the same level as Lucent already was before. But yeah, I don't know. I think Wild Inferno just forces a fight around fire here, and they probably just slot it home.
And I mean, to push down the tier 1 towers, I don't even know if they need Fire Giant, but that being said, I think forcing a fight definitely the right path to take. At any stage of the game, a 5v5 is hard when it's under an objective, like a tower, especially that your ADC doesn't quite have the tower killing capability online yet. Normally comes a little bit later in the build. I definitely think getting, not necessarily a D-side, but a few man advantage would be helpful. This might be the opportunity. It's going to be a 4v4 in the jungle. Patrick gets pulled in, dropping low.
Pull back in again as Fish will actually secure the kill here. Pyro being pulled slowly as Physics is zoning everyone off with lurking in the waters. Pyromans are probably already falling down low. It's just below half as Fish. Ooh, great immunity there by Lucent to not be plucked there. Still gonna have to retreat as Pyromancer did fall down towards Wild Inferno here. Yeah, great plays.
Good plays indeed. They get the Pyro on the back end now. 2 runic bombs in the belt of Wild Inferno. Gonna be looking for this tier 1 tower, maybe, but instead on the flip side, Cernos taken up into the air. It's a good gank from Dark Omen.
But is it going to be enough? That's a level 17 Cernos with also the health buff around him. Doesn't even go below half HP after both ults. Did have the protection of being under that tower with bastions up, of course. I don't know, man. You said great gank. I think right now, if you're RawToasts, you just gotta farm. Gotta not gank lanes right now. Get that XP. I think you said it last game, right? You prefer XP over kills. Now is the time. That being said, most of the buffs are down on the map, but look for him phase. I don't know, man. You're behind. You gotta do something.
Definitely have to, and the something to do is not lose a tier 1 tower, which unfortunately Dark Omen are going to do in every single lane. Love seeing that from Wild Inferno. They don't need the Fire Giant to push it down just yet. They get all the tier 1 towers, and now the pressure is mounting for Dark Omen, down about 7,000 gold. And I think you said what I said best perfectly. That didn't make sense. XP over kills always, but this kill might just be worth it. Looking for the Cernos. Great wild hunt to slow down the Tiamat. Is it going to be enough?
It's not. Yes. Ooh, great snipes by Steve in the background on the Centaur, making sure that kill does get secured. I think 90% of that goes to Lucent, but you know, and on Steve could very much use that kill. Fight's not over yet though. In the tower are Fish and Capri. As now RawToasts deciding to fall back a bit in the solo lane here. Almost a solo kill again for Physics. Doesn't want to drop it just quite yet. Look at the damage.
Huh, I guess Tablet Destiny's Glad Kill does a little bit more than I thought. the full tank Sobek is going to be full damage too, it turns out. And now Dark Omen are the ones pulling the Fury. I don't mind this. I don't know if I would commit to it though. I don't think they have enough of a lead to really warrant this aggression right now. Especially with Physics coming over top of the player damage at 16,000. You do not want that Sobek on your backline, but he's going to be.
Yeah, Dark Omen definitely do not have enough of a lead as they are very far behind. Thank you, Fish. I do not like indeed that they put the gold through there. I think it's a right decision to drop it, and they're very lucky to all have lived there. Especially like you were saying with LGDFish coming in there. However, Physics not done with this just yet as they go into the lurking to the waters. Petro ulting right after it will get the stun off. Will be enough as now REDWINGS over there as well. Into the egg goes Physics together with RawToasts. They want this Sobek very badly as Jones actually gets a kill on Steve in the background. Now it's Fish using the ultimate to pull someone back in. I didn't even see who it was. I'm so sorry. And Sobek, still alive, actually just got back to base after eating like 4 ultimates. What is going on? And now Gold Fury going towards Wild Inferno probably.
It definitely should, and it does. JoyWolffe a little bit late on the blink Cataclysm. Unfortunate. Don't mind the steal attempt, but now Lucent dropping very low. You don't want your teammate to go down. Lucent having an okay game right now. Not necessarily the big stats we expect out of a teammate, but top damage on the team, more damage than the enemy mid laner. Speaking of damage, taking a look at these charts, I think it's a much better look for Dark Omen. There's no real big gaps like there were last game, except for solo laner, quite a bit of a difference. And again, JoyWolffe, pretty far down on the damage charts, but it's a support. It's not really something I would be worried about like last game. You don't love to see it, but it's really not a big deal at the end of the day.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're JoyWolffe, the one thing you can say is at least I got 40 more damage than Weekend.
That is true. Not the 667 today. But might be another death for JoyWolffe. Physics trying to chase it down. Lands a pluck. This should be the end of the Gab. No, wow, that did not do as much damage as I thought.
No, I think the Gap Shield just came up just back in time, as well as the Sobek ult did get cleared early. However, RawToasts will fall down instead as they just overstayed the welcome a little bit. Petro being forced to ult out now as well, as the Pyromancer has already fallen down towards Wild Inferno once again. We're 21 minutes in, 10 in 2. nieshieuchiha dead? Probably looking at fire here, aren't they? Not quite yet. They think they want to get Petro first. Ooh, Pluck just a little bit off the mark. So Petro will probably live for now. Unless they decide to go back in, which is probably not the right call. However, Wild Inferno does not capitalize on it and are now just grouping around fire once again.
And honestly, if I'm Wild Inferno, if Dark Omen steps up here, just take the fight. They do start pulling the Fire Giant. But no, they're looking for the fight instead. Lucent really low on the back end. Lucent gonna die. Jones gets a kill credit. Plucking JoyWolffe back in. The Geb's gonna fall as well. And now they're gonna retreat to the Fire Giant. Good play call by Wild Inferno. It's safer, but we've already seen Steve do really well with Centaurus this match. This objective isn't a sure thing. They still need to be aware. They can drop it again to go for the fight. I don't know if they have to this time.
You know, I like people being kill hungry, but at this point, just take the damn giant. Yeah. However, Petro being there, causing a bit of chaos, and they actually drop it completely. Sobek ult being down. I'm not sure if they saw something, or if that was a bit of a misclick. But yeah, now you end up with maybe like 2 or 3 kills by the end of that fight. No Fire Giant, and everyone has to back to base. And you're basically back to square one. You did get the Pyromancer in the beginning of it, so you have 2 bombs left if you ever want to push. But I'm not sure about this decision making right now.
I mean, admittedly, it would have been really nice to see them get that Fire Giant. I think it would have been the right play. But that being said, I'm never going to hate on a team for erring on the side of caution. Because unlike last game where there's a Scylla, they don't have much objective control either, save for a Wild Hunt from the Stern that does a couple hundred damage. It's a safe call. I think maybe if they had gotten something like 8 on Steve or Patro down 2, then they would have. But 3 on 5, even at Fire Giant, it still can be a scary prospect this early in the game. Late game, not as much, but it's only 23 minutes in. Neither of these teams have a whale of a lead. Wild Inferno does have 8,000 gold, but now Petro forced up into the ult. Shouldn't escape alive. Wild Hunt secures it.
Definitely will not save alive. Sorry. Cancel that. Yep. Anyway, we see Fish here clearing a purple buff. Bit of a sneaky no, not even an invade. That's their own purple. I'm so sorry. I'm completely off my apropos now. I just messed up. Going back towards this fire giant will be pulled for maybe a 69th time here. Ooh, that's KingFsher being knocked up. Not being knocked up that time. I think it caused their bubble to actually go. Yes, it did. As now maybe a bit of a fight is loose and just gets melted completely. So does JoyWolffe. Jones securing a double kill for himself. And surely they go for fire now as Fish falls back down from the sky. RawToasts falling down for the third death now on Dark Omen. It's only 2 alive. It's Enon, Steve, and Petro. Are they gonna actually do this fire giant this time? Or are they not? They do have vision on Dark Omen. They know they're doing it. It's below half HP now. REDXWINGS on the Merlin, of course, being a big burst over here. Ooh, Petro? Ooh. For a second there, I thought Petro actually stole it there. And now, great attempt on stealing that, but I think they will die for it. Yes, they will, as Jones gets their third kill off the fight, and now Pyromans are falling down as well. And I think this game is probably pretty close to over.
I would certainly expect the same thing. They got everything going in their favor right now. And also, correct me if I'm wrong, I mean, do love that they finally got the fire giant. I think it was the right play. I don't know what they saw differently than last time when they just dropped and went for kills instead and then refused to take the fire giant in a similar scenario. Don't really know what the difference was, maybe just a little bit more confidence as time goes on, but regardless, it's going to be a good move from Wild Inferno. Now going to manage to push down this right tier 2, should get it pretty easily. And if you're them, do you think they're going to spread it around the tier 2 towers, or are they going to maybe group up and go for a Phoenix?
Well, if this was any other team than Wild Inferno, I would say Phoenix. But this is Wild Inferno, so they were looking for the Phoenix for about half a second and immediately went towards the other tier 2, so there you got your answer.
Do love getting my answer indeed. The tier 2 is going to fall. The one in left should fall as well. I think probably smart by Dark Omen not stepping up to defend these tier 2 towers. Wild Inferno's got a decent lead. I mean, I guess 17 to 14,000 gold. It's an okay lead. Probably doesn't do you much good to step up to those towers. Not going to find anything but a quick trip to the grave. Tier 2 in left falls. Primal Fury going to be right behind and still 2 runic bombs in pocket. It's looking grave here for Dark Omen.
Yeah, KingFsher just used one of the runic bombs on that tier 2 tower, the last one that fell down onto the left lane there. They had 3 of them. Look, I like people being a bit cautious, but you have 3 bombs. That's Phoenix just basically already being dead without having it being hit just once. I think it's criminal that they don't take a Phoenix in.
You know, I don't think I noticed that. It definitely makes being in that right lane, taking the Phoenix, a lot more viable than going for that tier 2 in mid. That being said, those runic bombs, they don't expire. They're definitely going to have them for a long time. And they still have another 2.5 minutes on this fire giant. I would love to see Wild Inferno group up, push down one of the Phoenixes, preferably in left, use the runic bombs. That being said, I think from the weeks we've seen them past, I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're just going to wait. RawToasts has to ult to get away, blinks as well, and will stay alive, but that's a lot of utility down for the Neja.
Yeah, definitely. As Naja, well, pretty much all your kill potential that you already had, and it was not a lot of it, has just been gone, as both your blink and your ultimate being used at least gets to keep the beats a bit out of position. I do get wanting to push, but right now grouping up around both left and right, so not grouping up at all as they're in every single lane. What are they doing? Still 2 bombs up. Right Phoenix, 1 bomb being used, 2 bombs being used, and it will probably fall down very quick. No, being forced out of the Phoenix after using both bombs. Phoenix is low, but I would have expected them to at least take it.
Definitely a little bit of a toss-up. They haven't quite taken it yet. REDWINGS does get JoyWolffe on the left side. And I don't know about that one from Dark Omen. They are really chasing out the kills on the right, leaving Lucent by himself. Lucent falls. Phoenix falls. Oh, wow. I don't know about that play call from Dark Omen. The mid Phoenix should fall as well. Indeed, Khepri is going to get in there. No more runic bombs, but shouldn't be too much threat of losing lives here with minions pouring in. Dark Omen step way too far up. They lose 2 Phoenixes for it. Should be a third also. It might be closer though. Nishi's pretty low health.
Well, you know, if you're 29 minutes into a game and your enemy has 19 kills and you got 2 of them, it's worth it to lose 2 Phoenixes to get a solo laner. I stand by them and I think it's great plays. As now the Fire Giant is being looked at once again by Inferno, actually first going towards the Pyromancer, continuing with this caution we've seen before. Probably the smarter call this time.
Definitely. And now RawToasts, I don't know about that.
Uh-oh.
Oh, wow, dude. Never mind. Wow, deleted the Cernanos. Okay, maybe I spoke too soon. Really good play from RawToasts. I thought RedWings was going to get more return damage before he went up into the air.
Uh-oh. A bit deep from RawToast here, though. As the entire team of Wild Inferno, except for Chernanos, who is dead, of course, is back there to support the Merlin. Not quite getting the double kill on Ratos. Getting Jones there is pretty big, though, as Jones was probably shopping while backing, which is, well, Smite 101, don't back with your shop open. Paid a big price for it. Minions now pushing the Titan, though, as Dark Omen ups to defend this Fire Giant fight. Fire Giant not being pulled yet, but your Titan is dying, boys. Be careful.
Dying indeed. Luckily, it's only one wave pouring in. They got a little bit of time they can play around with. They're going to send Chiron back for it. And admittedly, the Neja does dive way too deep there. But killing the Cernanos, I honestly don't mind dying for that at all. Especially killing Cernanos that didn't use either of his relics. I think it's like you said, probably had the shop open. Don't love it. And a great play call here from Wild Inferno. They know the Chiron back, so they go and get Onis. It's going to make it a lot easier to do this Fire Giant. Dark Omen have to keep someone at base to deal with these waves, or Wild Inferno just stall out at the Fire Giant and they win. It's one of the two.
For sure. As well, the only thing Wild Inferno's gotta be careful for is these Phoenixes are already halfway through respawning. If you keep playing this cautious, if you don't go for all this Fire Giant before those Phoenixes respawn, you don't have your advantage anymore. Seems like they will try and go for it now, though. It's already below half HP right now. Merlin burst for you, as it's only JoyWolffe on the Gap being close to stealing. It's actually, sorry, I didn't even see Petra over there. Gap falling down low, though. Gap falling down after Fish actually ulting it. Petra up in the ult as well, but there goes lurking into the water, going right after it. And Fire Giant still being pulled. It's actually RawToasts being very close, not being able to steal it this time. Did press the ult, but died right before they went up into the sky. RedWings getting the kill secure for themselves, and now it's just Physics running up to the last 3 alive members of Dark Omen here. The rest of the team did go as well, and now Petra will be the next one to fall down. Probably looking at either right Phoenix or Titan here. I would go for the Titan, but you know, it is Inferno, so they might go for the Phoenix first. Titan already being half HP means they're being as well 5 alive with EFG. This Titan will fall down. Titan will fall down as it's 2-0. GG. End of the game. What do you think, Fish?
I think we're going to have to get it back into it on the desk. There's a lot to unpack.
And welcome back to the end screen of this set. It has been a 2-0, so no game 3 for you, but we got a lot to talk about on this screen as we see 0-0-15 on the Capri. I'm impressed. 18 walls as well. 3000 player healing actually on a character that doesn't have any player healing of themselves. I mean, same thing on JoyWolffe on the Gap. Something to say, they did out heal Capri, so props to them. Maybe a better support. What do you think, Fish?
I mean, I do think that healing comes from benevolence, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe just a little bit more procs. Maybe that's just because the teammates on Dark Omen being a little bit more in danger at times. Scoreboard would definitely reflect that. In my eyes, for Wild Inferno, Physics and Jones played absolutely lights out this set, both games, both on different picks. I mean, you can't get much further apart than a Sobek and a Ravana, and Physics played them beautifully, and Jones just consistent pressure from the duo lane. These are really two to watch out for in the Immortal division, and somebody I'm keeping an eye on if I'm a team moving forward.
For sure, yeah. I think Wild Inferno just showed dominance here and just showed them we are not a team to be messed with. However, I would like for them to be a bit less European and just start pushing the gas pedal sometimes a little bit. But yeah, great plays all around the board, and we gotta remember that Dark Omen here was playing with both a new support who didn't even play support the second game, and a sub who played for them this week. So can't write them off just yet. You know, it's very hard to play with two people who usually don't play in your team. So props to them for still showing up, still playing it, and not just forfeiting. Yeah. Anything else you want to say about this match, Fish?
I don't really think so. I mean, I think you covered it pretty well for Dark Omen. Definitely not their best showing, but they did have a couple factors working against them. I would certainly expect them to be back stronger in the later weeks. And on the flip side, from Wild Inferno, it's a great game. I don't know how much there is you need to change with your team moving forward. If you keep playing like this at this high of a level, definitely gonna be a long run in the playoffs ahead. But I think that's gonna about wrap it up for us here. Week number 4 from the Immortal division. Wild Inferno wins 2-0 over Dark Omen. So be sure you tune in next time for more action from the Smite Draft League, and we will talk to you all later.
So there you have it, folks. I've been Jeffrey. I've been here together with Fish. And I also really want to thank iNooblet for being our cameraman today. So see you next week.
I could get drunk off the lights of a city. Late night phone calls just to say you miss me.